Well, good morning. It's Thursday, February 13th, 2025. I'm Senior Atmospheric Scientist Andrew Pritchard with Nutrien Ag Solutions, taking a look at your current weather hazards across the U.S. We'll start from west to east. We've got an atmospheric river that's bringing heavy precipitation, high winds, and even a low tornado risk to portions of the western United States today. Bitterly cold air sinking into the northern and central plains, all the way down to the southern plains this morning. And then we've got a squall line along ahead of a cold front that's moving through the southeast U.S. Some wintry precipitation with the area of low pressure lifting into the northeastern U.S. So we'll kind of just run down the weather risks today. Starting off with that atmospheric river out west. Again, you can kind of see it spiraling there. It's not a long duration event, but it is, a 24 to 36 hour period of heavy precipitation. As we just kind of zoom out, looking at the infrared satellite picture, you see the big swirling area of low pressure, a whole lot of moisture, and a whole lot of upper level support here for a wide area of precipitation. Again, you can see the transport here, why we call it an atmospheric river. It just looks like a river of flowing moisture here, making its way from the Pacific ashore across the western U.S. All sorts of weather hazards with this. Again, we've got winter storm warnings in pink, ice storm warnings in purple as you make your way up into portions of western Washington and Oregon. Winter weather advisories in the light purple shading there. And then as you get over toward the east side of the Rockies, that's where we have those cold weather advisories and extreme cold warnings in effect. And then we'll talk about that tornado risk in the Central Valley here in just a moment. But really, the big picture, the big idea is a whole lot of moisture being delivered to California, some areas that badly need it. The Sierras getting a significant amount of snow here, several feet of snow, several inches of liquid precipitation in some of the Central Valley areas here. We'll just kind of rock back and forth. This is your day on Thursday. This is Thursday night. This takes us into Friday morning. We'll start to see the impacts here start to fade Friday into Saturday night. Still some, mountain snows ongoing through Friday night into Saturday morning before this area of low pressure starts to move on out of the region. So total liquid precipitation on the left, total snowfall on the right. You can see this is a heavy precipitation maker, even though it's just a 24 to 36 hour duration event. We're talking about several inches of liquid precipitation across coastal areas here into the Central Valley. And then we're talking about significant snowfall, several feet of snow, several inches of liquid equivalent there in the Sierras, an area that really has been missed as we go back looking at the entirety of the winter precipitation season. Strong winds with this one, 40 to 60 miles per hour across some of the valley areas there. Obviously some higher wind gusts as you get up into the higher terrain up towards some of the mountain peaks. But again, a 24 to 36 hour period of really rainy, snowy, and windy conditions across the western U.S. And within that, we do have a low risk for a couple of severe storms producing maybe a tornado or two across the Central Valley, kind of along and east of Interstate 5 through the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto area down toward Fresno. What happens is we've got this big area of precipitation moving through during the first part of the day. You see this right here. This is kind of your early morning hours. As that first area of precipitation moves out, we get a little bit of a clearing. This is kind of what we call the clear slot. This would be what happens in the Midwest, where we get the sunshine that comes out. It heats up the lower atmosphere. We get that instability there, that imbalance between the warmer, humid air near the ground, the colder air aloft. And so this is the exact setup you get there. A little bit of instability. The air wants to spin there with that tight area of low pressure. So we develop a couple of, small but intense thunderstorms that could rotate across the Central Valley, producing, again, maybe some gusty winds and the chance for a couple of tornadoes in the Central Valley as we head through the Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening time frame. We move all the way over to the southeast U.S. That's where we have some other severe storms ongoing, again, along and ahead of that cold front. We'll just kind of go back to the infrared satellite picture, but look all the way over to the other side of the U.S. here on the east side. Along and ahead of this cold front, again, just enough moisture, just enough instability to kick off some robust storms here, kind of the last legs of the severe weather event that started yesterday in parts of eastern Texas and Louisiana. A couple of tornadoes, a lot of damaging wind gusts across this area during the Wednesday afternoon and evening period. Again, no severe warnings ongoing right now, a couple of special weather statements. These storms probably producing some gusty winds, some heavy rains, but they're really going to run out of their instability and run out of the fuel as we get toward the later part of the day today, as this cold front kind of just stalls out here across the Florida Peninsula. So we'll show it here. We just kind of run out of gas. This is Thursday midday, getting into the afternoon. Can't rule out a couple of strong storms along that front, producing some gusty winds, but I am not that excited about it. I think that we're really going to see this squall line fade as we head through the day today. We lose the juice, the instability, and we also lose the upper level support of the area of low pressure and the upper level disturbance as that pulls away. So we're just separating the ingredients, and we see that risk start to fall off. Certainly a couple of pockets, of some heavier rain possible there as we head through the rest of the morning hours up toward the middle part of the day, the early afternoon, across southern Georgia, northern Florida, before we see those storms start to fade during the rest of the day today. Still dealing with COVID here. It's finally made its way into my respiratory system, so the energy is okay, but my voice is coming and going here this morning. Last couple things I want to talk about. It is very cold across the upper Midwest. Again, a shot of Arctic air temperatures. These are air temperatures between minus 15 and minus 25 across the Dakotas, parts of the upper Midwest. We just got a stripe of snow here through the area over the last 24 hours. You see some of the recent snow totals there. Where it was heavy, and that's what I'm talking about, 6 to 8, maybe 8 to 10 inches of snow, was relatively narrow there across portions of southern Iowa into eastern Iowa, right along the northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin border there. Everyone else, pretty light. We're talking about, a dusting is what we got here in Champaign, Illinois, maybe up to an inch across parts of Champaign County. A lot of folks across central Illinois, right around 1 to 2 inches here. So not a very high impact storm. Certainly just a pretty typical February snowy day across the region. Now, we do have another storm that's going to be bringing some snow to parts of the upper Midwest over the weekend. Starting to see it kind of take a look where it doesn't wrap up quite so well and giving us this organized snow event on the north side. I think more of a broad, light snow event is what we're looking at again. Again, some of the trends here. GFS on the right is a little more robust. The European has been pretty quick to peel the snow totals back on this one. So you see side by side, the European going with that broad area of light snow, a trace to a couple of inches. The GFS saying, hey, maybe another corridor of 6 to 10 inches. I kind of lean toward the European here, where we're talking another broad area of generally light snow till you get over toward the Great Lakes, parts of the Northeast, where those snow totals start to ramp back up. But certainly it's going to be a somewhat snowy, but very cold next 5 to 7 days across a lot of the Corn Belt. We've got this really cold air in place now. We get another shot that comes in on the backside of the weekend system that, could bring a little snow, but the bigger impact here is going to be much of the Corn Belt. We're going to start off next week extremely cold. Those temperatures, again, air temps below zero in a lot of places. If not below zero, you're in the single digits across the Corn Belt, and we'll see some of that colder air try to make its way down to the Gulf Coast as well. So start thinking about a pretty big cold snap next week. That's probably going to be one of our bigger stories. But that is what I have for you today. Actually, it's not. I wanted to mention the Saturday severe weather risk down south. I apologize. This is the south side of that weekend storm system. We do already have an enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5, and that is on the day 3 outlook. This is Saturday, February 15th. That's a pretty high-end risk to be going after on the day 3. And so this is what we've got. Upper level on the left, and lower level on the right. You see the southwest flow, that broad trough that comes in here on the left side, and the response there on the right side is to ramp up that low-level jet. Another area of low pressure here running through the southern U.S. will open up the Gulf of Mexico. It'll be plenty unstable. You see the response here. We just brought a cold front through, but with that next trough digging in Friday night into Saturday, you'll see that moisture respond and surge north from the Gulf of Mexico, looking for another area, a broad area of showers and thunderstorms to get going here during the day Saturday. This is your Friday night, and here you go. Saturday, we will have to watch this area, the same area that was impacted yesterday by scattered severe storms. The potential for an organized severe weather outbreak across this region, certainly the chance for some more significant precipitation across the area. We're talking about several inches where we get repeated rounds of showers and thunderstorms as this very active pattern continues across this region. Now that is all that I have for you. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. We'll talk to you again here Friday as we close up the week.